ben Maaike Ijpenberg, docent aan Minerva voor time-based design. En dit is...
Pronk, ook docent aan Minerva. Ja, we zijn een duo, hè?
Een duo, ja.
Ja. Wij doen de studio-afdeling. We hebben dit project gecoördineerd met jullie, met de studenten. En eerst een half jaar op school, de conceptontwikkeling. En de helft daarvan was conceptontwikkeling en de andere helft van, nou, nu heb je wat bedacht en ga er nu maar mee aan de slag. Nu de beelden erbij bedenken. Mag jij even?
Ja, nou, het eerste half jaar werken we vaak met de ruimte en het tweede half jaar met tijd. En nu zijn we echt op locatie bezig gegaan, dus de ruimte kwam natuurlijk weer terug. En de studenten hebben zich heel erg in de tijd verdiept die hier speelde vroeger en nu in Oosterwijtwerdertil. En dat vertaalt naar beeld eigenlijk. Ja.
Wij zijn Jaap en Irene. En wij hebben een boerenbedrijf en jullie studenten van de Minerva hebben bij ons overnacht deze hele week. En dat was eigenlijk een hele leuke week. We moesten ook
even wat anders.
Even wat anders. Gezellig. We wisten ook niet wat we kregen aan studenten. Dus bleken er 18 te zijn en gezellige mensen.
Ja, ze redden zich goed.
Ja.
Ja, ze helpen elkaar. En,
viel alles mee.
Veel Engels gepraat.
Ja, inderdaad.
Ja, veel internationaal.
Veel internationaal. En ook heel leuk, want zoveel internationale mensen komen er niet bij ons op de boerderij. Dus leuk. Ik vond het leuk.
Ik ben Nuno, voormalig student aan de Academie Minerva. En ik ben nu allround vormgever en heel af en toe ook een beetje cultureel ondernemer. En ik ben eigenlijk opgeroepen door mijn voormalige docenten om te assisteren in dit leuke project. En een beetje de studenten technisch en af en toe conceptueel te begeleiden met deze projecten. Waar ik achteraf ben best trots op wat ze hebben neergezet. Ja.
Ja, jij zegt oké.
Vorig jaar we zijn vorig jaar gevraagd door Terug naar het Beginfestival om samen met het Prins Claus Conservatorium iets te gaan doen voor het festival. Het Prins Claus Conservatorium deed dit jaar niet meer mee en we hebben dit jaar ook een hele grote klas. Dus we durfden het wel aan om het met alleen time-based te gaan doen. Wat hebben we daar gedaan? We hebben de studenten gevraagd om na te denken over tijd, waar we het net over hadden, en ruimte en een installatie te maken. En een installatie, dat is heel vrij, daar zit veel conceptontwikkeling in. Wat kan je ermee, wat moet je ermee? Er is bijvoorbeeld een bandje nog, die niet een bandje speelt, maar daar een hele theatrale voorstelling van heeft gemaakt. Het zijn interactieve voorstellingen, voorstellingen die raken. Nu mag jij.
Ja, nou, die heb denk ik het meeste wel gezegd. Ik denk dat wat veel terugkwam is de folklore die hier gevonden is in de omgeving waar de studenten veel mee gedaan hebben. En geprobeerd die op verschillende manieren terug te brengen in beeld en in muziek en het verhaal.
Ja, probeer te wortelen in Oosterwijtwerdertil. Probeer de plek een betekenis te geven. En dat is best moeilijk, zeker voor buitenlandstudenten, maar wij zijn er echt trots op. Dat hebben ze echt best goed gedaan.
Dat hebben ze heel goed gedaan.
Wat wij ervan vonden om een weekje met jullie door te brengen, international studenten. Eigenlijk was het gewoon heel natuurlijk. Het was heel fijn. Het was niet gek. Jullie kwamen en jullie snapten wat wij wouden van waar jullie respect voor hadden bij ons op het bedrijf. Jullie waren gewoon een leuke groep en moesten nog een beetje wennen aan het überhaupt kamperen en voorbereiden en het overnachten buiten als internationale studenten, had ik het idee. Maar gaandeweg ontstond er wel een soort van cohesie onderling, dat jullie allemaal dat ook lol in kregen. En ook als een groepje daar ook in de kantine bij ons op de grond zaten te eten met elkaar als een clubje. Nee, ik vond het heel leuk om te aanschouwen hoe jullie dat ook allemaal oppikten.
Ja, net alsof ze het al vaker hebben gedaan.
Ja, uiteindelijk alsof... Precies.
Ja, maar toch een beetje uit hun natuurlijke habitat getrokken.
Ja.
Ja.
Dus nee, ik vond het echt goed voor jullie. Ja, leuk. Goed gedaan.
Het proces van het begin tot het eind meemaken was wel heel tof. Het heeft een soort intimiteit ook. En zeker met studenten die ik eigenlijk zeker gewoon niet eerder kende. Eén snelle beoordeling voordat we hierheen gingen van pak een beet een uurtje. En dan gelijk met z'n allen in de auto hierheen uitpakken. Het schept al snel inderdaad een soort intieme band. En dan zeker om iedereen te mogen begeleiden in dat hele creatieve proces. Ja, erg leuk. Ook gaandeweg al die dynamiek een beetje te leren kennen. Hoe men voor elkaar zorgt. En ik denk zelfs dat ik heb mogen meemaken dat tijdens zo'n kamp de banden onderling tussen de studenten iets dichter gegroeid is. En zoals ik eerder al zei, het resultaat is gewoon tof. Iets om trots op te zijn. Zowel voor mij als voor de studenten zelf. Ja.
Hi, we are this exhibition's interactive team and we are behind everything that moves basically.
Well, basically what we expected and what didn't figure out, and eventually it was to have an interactive room where each of the person can see themselves in different worlds to expand their reality basically. And the initial idea was to create a room with 3 layers in which one of those showed specific world, but eventually it's turned out in 3 different interactive projections and 3 interactive TVs.
I think this was definitely an exploration of what we can do with creative coding and what futures does generative art bring to us. It's one thing I did learn in the process of making this. It's never going to go as you want it to go. And you always have to work with what happens.
Don't overthink.
Yeah. I think our group dynamic worked quite nicely because we're both in the middle of an interest of exploring what you can do with interactivity and what you can do with projections. And I think we're both quite independent workers, so it was nice to work on our own basically and then bring everything we have done on our own together.
Well, if I can describe in one sentence how our works work, basically, it's we both don't know what we do and how it works, but we'll figure it out eventually. Something will go out of it.
Yeah, as I said, we don't know what's going to happen. We have learned this week what does happen and how does it happen. But
Why
I think
does it happen? All the philosophical questions.
Yeah, it's basically like having a little child. Even when you make the program, it's like it's alive. It's like something that's always running and always taking input and putting out something.
And HDMI into him.
Yeah, so it's very much as raising your program to be what you want, and it's not gonna end up exactly the way you imagined it, but you have to be happy with it and love it either way. If I would have to describe our work in 3 words, it would just be move your body.
Don't overthink, enjoy.
Hi, I'm Clara, and my installation is 2 videos where I want to show the 2 sides of the same coin in regards to nature and how it has changed over the years and how I have difficult feelings towards it and how it can become very dangerous to us as humans.
Hi, my name is Kinga, and my installation is based on the stairs, and it consists of camera in front of which you have to stop, and the projection of Touch Designer file, edits it a little bit. And my installation is about the future and our impact on the future that we don't really see immediately.
So what I want people to take away from my installation is that they think about what kind of impact they have on nature and also how their relationship to nature looks like right now. Yeah, I just want to have them open their eyes and extend their reality basically on that topic and open their eyes to everything that's happening actually. Yeah.
So the main idea of my installation is to look at your impact on the future and think about how even if you don't see the consequences, they are there. And I didn't want it to do in this preachy way of saying, oh, the world is going to end if you don't do anything now, but I wanted it to be a little bit more fun in a way, a little bit more silly. So there's the projection. And I notice a lot of people having fun with it, but also there's this shock at first of seeing yourself from the past. And yeah, that's the shock that a lot of us can see about like our actions, that we do something and then we don't know what's going to happen because of that. So yeah, that's the key takeaways.
So what I was nervous about was that. Oh no, I was talking about something else. No, it's fine. I will just say what I was nervous about. What I was most nervous about was that I was kind of scared that I couldn't bring my message across, and it has been through a lot of evolution from the beginning until the end because I didn't know how I could bring it across in a way that people will understand that I don't want to preach, just like you as well. I don't want to preach anything. I want to have people feel something and not think too much about it. Like I want them to sit there, see like all these beautiful pictures of around here, and then with the distorted sound kind of feel like, oh, there's something happening to those really beautiful things, but also in a really subtle way that most people actually don't really see in everyday life. And with the other video, I was trying to kind of bring across that I have a really difficult relationship with nature, that I feel very at home in it. But then on the other hand, I also do a lot of things consciously that I know will hurt it. And it just puts me into this position of living between two worlds, or like being really torn apart. And this like tearing apart, that's what I wanted to take away. And that's what I was most nervous about, that people might not get it.
So I was mostly worried, nervous about just doing my first ever installation. Whenever you do something new, whenever you try a new medium, it's a bit nerve-wracking. I'm used to just sitting in front of the laptop and doing graphics. So when you have to actually go to the space and think about the space and think about how people will interact with it, that's a bit scary. I was worried that people will just miss it and just completely not get it and not stop. And I had to make some changes to, actually make them see that I put some text there, that it's there, because most people just concentrate on the stairs. So that was the most worrying part for me.
Okay, I'm Dagra, and this art piece is called The Mirror Sculpture.
I'm Anja, and I'm Dagra's groupmate.
We wanted our installation to be open for interpretation, and we want to share local folklore stories. So in the shadows you can see pieces of the folklore stories in visualization, and the audio also. In the audio you can also hear the folklore stories from the local area. And we really like the audience to daydream. So our installation is inviting to daydream.
During this project, we're a bit scared at first that this thing is gonna fall, because it's quite heavy weighted, even though it doesn't look like it. And also we didn't get the disco ball on time, sort of, so we were also a bit scared of that part. But everything turns out very well in the end, so I'm glad.
Okay, if you could describe our installation in one word, it would be luring and inviting. Yes.
Hi, I'm Geralda and I worked on this installation called The Ghost Party.
Hello, my name is Zaydan. I also worked on this installation called The Ghost Party.
And I'm Nienke.
So the group dynamic...
It was a bit messy, to be honest.
Yeah.
We kind of had a hard time like scheduling each of our meetings and stuff like that. But yeah, in the end, I feel like we made a pretty good installation. So I'm glad everything worked out in the end.
Yeah, and it was first the 4 of us, and now it turned out to be the 3 of us in the end.
Yeah.
So that gave us a lot of stress as well. But we didn't really divide... what
we had to do.
What we had to do, it was just, it popped up in our heads, and then we were like, okay, we have time, so we can do it, and that's how it went. So what we wanted the audience to get from this installation was like a feeling of nostalgia, and to know in some way that there were people here like keeping the memory alive and having the remnants of the people who used to be here, and showing people that this was a very busy and lively place where community was a very important thing. And that was it.
So my favorite part of this installation was probably figuring out how to do the lights. It was actually my first time doing it, so I think I got like good practice with this, and also for the touch designer thing that I made.
My favorite part of this installation was like finally being done and setting everything up and having it all come together, because I was really stressed about that and that people wouldn't get it, but they did. So that was really fun to see that people were walking around and be like, that was the favorite part of this installation.
Yeah, we were actually scared because we thought that maybe people will not interact with the jellyfish because, maybe people will not get it, or they would just be shy to like touch it and stuff. But in the end, people actually danced with it, which was really nice.
So what we also wanted to share was that there were some organizers from interactive theater Furol, and they gave us their whatever it is contacts, because they liked our installation so much that they were like, maybe we can work together, and maybe if you need an internship, hit me up. So that was really nice.
We were actually surprised because it's the first installation we ever did together and alone, so we were really surprised.
It's a good surprise because now we can like rub this in some teachers, not calling out names, but some teachers' faces. So.
Hey, my name is Amelia, and I did the prop design, the stage design. I was the stylist, a performer, and the makeup artist behind this project.
I'm Ula. I am a director, writer, and performer.
I'm Domino. I did the performing, composing, sound, that's it. Music.
And wrote a lot of stuff. Okay, my name is Bogdan. I did visuals, graphic design part as well, and some stage design. Who's next? Karu?
Awesome. Hi, I'm Karu, and I did the writing, some of it, and some performing, and some singing, some music, all those things.
I'm Alice Kowalchuk. I did set design, lights, and sometimes videos, photos.
Hello, I'm Bojan. I am a musical performer and composer. Power of Good Spirit!
Yeah, the message we were hoping to convey. Yes. The message we were hoping to convey with this performance was kind of an acceptance of regret, learning to kind of live with the moment you have and not something better in the past, something cooler in the future, and kind of the idea of not having so much of an easy place to call a home, but then like finding it elsewhere. Is that?
Yeah. And also about how, when somebody is moving to a different kind of environment, sometimes it can feel like the old one is rejecting you a little bit because it's just your own emotions about leaving it and, trying to find your place in the new spot can be challenging. And so you have to kind of have this ebb and flow of accepting and also realizing the things you did have back home are what make you the person who is able to face everything else. So it's, about that.
Okay, answer two. There was thought put into some of the visuals. Wait.
Look it.
I'm locked in. Okay. What?
Like for example,
There was a section of the musical where things became quite dreamlike and otherworldly, and sort of dwelling on that theme of extending reality and distorting it and making things seem not as they are. We were trying to think of ways to bring that into the set. So, for example, the plants coming from the ceiling instead of the ground, clouds coming from the ground instead of the sky, simple things like that. There was, I suppose, lights were more intuitive, just sort of listening to the music and thinking, what feelings are we trying to lean into? What colors are associated with what feelings? Would you like to add?
I agree. No, I can talk a little bit about maybe the costumes because that was mainly my role. So what was really important to me designing the masks or the headpieces more was to not reject and not destroy the band's identity. So I really wanted to integrate like their color scheme, or like maybe not integrate it, but not go against it. And I just really wanted to add my own little detail to this performance, and that seemed like the way to do it. That's why the masks have so much piercing in the ears. That's like my little twist. And when it comes to the prop design, my part was mostly designing the sliders for the lights. And those were just sketches done in one day when we decided, we need this part of the performance.
They look so good.
So, that was a speed run through learning how to draw a nose and, integrating some of my personal visual language into the performance.
So basically what we were trying to do is to create kind of a vague space that is not trying to impose the certain idea that is like could be transmitted and translated like through words, but more create the feeling, create some of like dreamy effect. And that's why we, for example, use fairy tales there, or like something that works with your subconscious, something that works with your memory that you might not remember, and with something like global that you could relate to on some deeper level to create this kind of dreamy space that is flowing you in the direction and kind of works like an actual drama when you don't really need to follow like what is happening, but you are being followed through the emotions and how emotional they play. Yeah,
the idea behind graphics was basically just to connect with the whole experience of the show and taking not the approach like, oh yeah, there is a picture and we just follow the picture, but mostly just making people think what's the idea behind that, why it's at one point it's so crowded, why at one point it's just so empty. And what I was focusing on is mostly conveying the emotions the main character feels through the performance using the visuals. And yeah, I would say creating not just some nice pictures, but mostly like a design system to go with the performance. So it was just not a freestyle, but more of a production, I would say. So yeah.
It was interesting to think of ways to do very, very quick set changes, considering we are quite a small group in terms of theatre. So, for example, something very simple like bringing in a piece of fabric to cover bar stools to change the scene from a bar setting to an outdoor setting, things like that.